Well, some general advice that I would have for producers is, well, I really have to talk about it from a personal perspective. You're going to make mistakes along the way. When I started out and I was really given more official roles of responsibility of producing a record, I found out pretty quickly that it's a leadership role, and it's not a role always. I mean, there are 1,000 ways to be a producer. You have to play different roles at different times. You have to understand the whole process. And what I discovered personally is that you're a leader. You are not responsible for doing everything or being the best at doing everything. What being a good leader and a producer about is understanding your own strengths and weaknesses in any particular moment, understanding the needs of the project and the artist, and when you're the best person for the job, or maybe you need to find the best person for the job. Having clarity and confidence in your role as a leader, and not confuse it with that you have to know everything or be a complete answer for every task. I realized for me, being an effective leader, being a good producer is about understanding my role as a leader, but then who and how I can be helped achieve the best result. And also really truly understanding the power of an artist, and that you're there to help them with their creation. So it's not being a know-it-all. I mean, sometimes I re-recorded things because I felt like they were technically flawed. And what happens is sometimes when you redo something and everybody was happy with it before, but you want to redo it for a technical reason, you lose the most important element of the recording, and that's the inspiration and the enthusiasm and the accomplishment that was built into the first time you did it. Now, obviously, if it's unusable sonically or technically, well, that's one thing. But if it's just slightly flawed in some way in your mind, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to redo it. On a record, I didn't realize it at the time, but we were recording electric guitars, and the Neve desk that I was using was distorting a little bit more than I thought it was. And then I went to a different studio, and I heard the I heard the guitar tracks differently, and I heard this distortion, and I knew that the distortion was because I was pushing the desk too hard, and I kind of freaked out, and we redid the guitars. I think the song and the production maybe suffered a little bit because the guitar player had already done a great job. And my motivation for redoing it wasn't right. I should have embraced the fact that when we recorded those guitars, they felt great, and the sound in the environment we're in felt great. I mean, sometimes you just have to manage those situations to keep the integrity of the most important part of it. Be a good observer as a producer. Be a good listener. Understand your power in the situation, that you're supposed to lead the recording process, but you need to earn the trust of those that you're working on the behalf of. You need to work on their behalf. You need to try ideas and be open-minded, even if maybe you don't like the idea, or you don't think it's going to lead to a good outcome. at least try it. Sometimes bad ideas lead to good solutions and good ideas. It's very rarely that I would say just no to something, or I'd really dig my heels in. But in those moments where I have to dig my heels in, if I have been more willing to work on the behalf of other ideas, and have demonstrated myself to be a team player and working in the interest of the artist and the ideas and inspiration they have, if I've done that, if I've demonstrated that, I have gained their trust, I've showed them that I respect their opinion. When I say no to something, well, typically that, my firm no is received with respect, and it's just like, okay, they may not like it, but I have demonstrated that I'm there to work on their behalf. And that if I'm saying no, it's because I honestly believe it's not the thing to do and we shouldn't go there. And it's because I want to protect the outcome for them. It's not my own selfish motivation. Being prepared, being open-minded, be willing to accept if someone says they don't like something. Do it again. Do it over. Listen to a lot of different kinds of music, even if you don't like it. As a producer, you should be able to work with any kind of music as long as the people that are creating it, that you're helping, are really talented. You should be able to discern true talent, whether and genres and styles and taste aside. You really should. My attitude is I should be able to make anyone's record, because really what it's about is creating an opportunity for a record-making process. And while I have a voice in the aesthetic of it, and I create the production and create the sounds, and I help create the vision and hold something up, it doesn't have to be music that I am particularly familiar with or love, as long as I feel like that the people that want to create it are talented, and they really have a firm grasp on what they're doing and what they are trying to express. So all that to say, I think you should be well versed in a lot of different types of music, so that you can understand someone else's inspiration and help them do what it is that they feel inspired to do. And if you're working with talented people that have something truthful and honest and vital to say, even if it's not in your wheelhouse or necessarily your taste, you can engage and enjoy the experience, and you'll learn something from it. You'll grow from it, and you can take something away from it and put it into other things. Really being open-minded and educated about music, I think, is essential. Being a people person. I don't mean necessarily being a yes man or yes woman, people pleaser, but there's a lot of psychology that's involved. You need to have emotional intelligence and social awareness and just sensitivity, and realize that it's not just it's a creative environment is a very dynamic environment. It involves a lot of people. Involves a lot of really creative, smart people that if you engage them the right way, and you can be a good listener and read the room and understand the environment, well then you can keep up with the pace of creativity. I like the thought that in the studio that we can be ruthlessly efficient, so that we never stand in a technical sense, in preparedness and efficiency, and being a step ahead of what the creative process is, if at all possible, so that we never impede the creative process. As a producer, be organized. Be prepared, be organized, be ready. if you're wrong or you're not ready, be willing to say that. People can respect that. I'm totally certain that someone would rather you tell them that I'm not sure, I'm not ready, than you fake it and then not deliver. Then because then you become someone they can't trust. And ultimately, in the studio environment, when it's when people's hopes and dreams and their artistic output is on the line, they want somebody they can trust. They want to feel like that you're the safety net, and that you're being honest. I think the last bit of advice I would give is be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Be patient with the time that it takes to be successful. And I don't mean sell a lot of records necessarily. I mean, of course we want to sell a lot of records. We want to make money at this. We want to feed our families. We want to be able to buy gear. Yeah, of course everybody wants that, but that's all secondary. Be patient and persistent, and know that success comes over time. And it's this is a craft. It's something you have to build. Know that not every great record you make is going to make a huge impact. Not everybody you work for is going to love you and like you. Not every job you do is going to be great in terms of the way it turns out, because it's not possible that everything is at the same level. You have to work with the same intention of having it be that way, and you have to apply yourself the same way. But you have to be patient with yourself, be patient with the process, and realize that the record that I recorded 6 months ago or a year ago, it's just now coming out. Might take 6 months before enough people listen to it that they call you up and want to work with you. I mean, I think record making and the results of it is anywhere from a year to 2 years in terms of the growth and development that you will experience, and then the response and what the world might offer you back in return. So be in it for the long haul. There's so much to learn. It's a hugely complicated process. I have been doing this for 30 years, and I'm still growing and learning and really trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up with technology. I'm trying to keep up with music, trends in music, even if I don't necessarily like all of what the charts is, it's important for me to know what's going on, because the people that are the majority of people that are making music and listening to music, that's what they're doing. And maybe it's not all for the right reasons, and hopefully I can discern and find the right people in those environments that will be good for me to work with, but I need to be informed about what they're doing. So be observant and patient. That will be my last bit of advice.